The Hamish and Andy Show podcast. Powered by Amy. Lucky you're with Amy.
Right. It's time to get down to business. With your help, Hamish and Andy are covering off on every topic in the world. And right now, there is no topic more important than
theatre.
Before you do a skerrick of work today, make sure you know all there is to know about
The theatre.
When we talk business, we talk...
Ooh, the theatre.
I'm Peter Harvey. This is Hamish and Andy's Business Brunch, and business starts... now.
Good morning, everyone. Hamish and Andy with you. Obviously, ties done up. I've got even a tie clip this morning, Ham. It's going to get pretty
I've
heavy
got a
here.
ruff on. I've got a roughly Shakespearean neck on because today's topic is the theatre.
Yes.
And just the theatre is all we'll be discussing. Alas, poor Andy, I knew him well. Andy, wherefore art thou, Andy?
Just here.
Andy Humler, where the wind comes sleeping off the place. And lots more other famous theatre sayings. Andy, you son of a gun, what are you doing here in Chicago?
From the famous musical Chicago.
Bugsy Malone.
Of course. Okay, Bugsy Malone.
No, Bugsy Malone also uses Chicago.
Today, the 27th of March, is actually...
I'm the Merchant of Venice, and my name's Andy Lee. Great line from Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice, starring Andy Lee.
It's actually World Theatre Day today, Ham. This very day. Started by the International Theatre Institute in Paris in 1962. Not sure if it's caught on.
I'm not surprised it was started by them. I didn't think it would be started by the Greengrocers Association. You know what? Let's give theatre a bit of recognition.
I'm not sure if it's cotton on that well because their Wikipedia just has one single line. That's it.
Too many days, I reckon. Too many days flying around. It was International Peanut Butter Day last week. Completely missed it. And I had peanut butter today. And not to make up for a lost day, but, you know, there's too many days. Let's just keep it to Father's Day.
Yep.
Easter Mother's Day, Christmas Day, and if we had to have one more, Pancake Tuesday. That's always a bit of fun.
Anzac Day, I think people are getting a little angry if Anzac Day.
I think it should be every day that we remember the diggers. Shame on you for restricting it to one day.
It's Hamish and Andy's Business Brunch.
Pancake Anzac Day.
One topic at a time this show's all about, and today's topic is the theatre. People can join us at hamishandandy.com/topics. There's always new topics going on. There's new topics up today for next week. If you would like to go and add some business, some correspondence. That's what Clemency did, Ham. Company lady Clemency Anderson. She writes, under the topic of theatre, my brother has been the star of heaps of musicals at girls' high schools. Because they always need to bring a guy in to play the male lead from different schools.
Yes, that is why you went to an all-boys school, Ando. I know a little bit of a long con from your mum and dad. Did you ever do the girls' high school?
I didn't.
Hello, girls. It's Jack.
From Jack and the Beanstalk.
Let me climb your beanstalk or something gross like that.
No, I didn't. Anyway, we'll go back to Clemency. She says of her brother, his accomplishments include being Prince Charming from Cinderella and the Beast in Beauty and the Beast.
Not typecast.
Here's where it gets a bit interesting. He kept being asked back to play the main character even after he finished school. He was like 22 when he played the Beast, and the girl playing Belle was 15. The musical director had to change the climactic ending because instead of a passionate kiss, my brother was just to hug the girl who was 7 years his difference.
Yeah, I think that's just because if there's one thing, you and I have both done a bit of amateur high school production.
Yeah.
If there is one thing that ruins a play, it's cops storming onto the stage and arresting a guy for kissing an underage girl.
Joining us on the line, Ham, is not Clemency, it's Marcus. We managed to get in contact with Prince Charming and the overage beast himself.
All hail the prince.
Marcus, talk us through this. I mean, how many plays all up did you do?
Well, I did probably maybe three. Mm-hmm. One starting just as I was finishing, and they did a couple. They did one every couple of years. So I just, got the call every couple of years, and said, "Oh, how would you like to do another musical?"
Didn't you think it was a bit weird that you're at uni, you're 22 years age, thereabouts, and then you go back to school and hang out at a girls'
Why'd you tell your friends?
Oh, it's all right. I mean, I had sisters at that school, so I knew some people there. It wasn't so awkward.
Right.
Is that why they changed the kiss? Because you had to make out with your sister? Was it changed on legal grounds or incestuous grounds?
No, but I think that the director had planned on doing the kiss, and it was up until like a few weeks beforehand when we were actually going to start practicing it. And I think a lot of people had actually come up to the director and said, "This is kind of weird, isn't it? Like, this is
he's a bit old. He drives. He's on his second car, and he's working full time. He's finished his uni degree. Well, all I'm hearing though is that you're obviously such a great. Your theatrical skills are of such a high caliber that they couldn't just get in some crappy 16, 17-year-old. They needed a real man. Could you give us a bit, if you remember, one of the lines, one of the scenes? You could be Prince Charming. You can be the Beast. Can you give us a taste of why
6 years ago
they kept getting you back?
I tell you what, the Beast songs, they were like written for the musical. They weren't actually in the animation, and they were so average that I cannot remember a single line from those songs.
Right? There's a thespian having a go at the
I'm a beast. I'm a beast. With your eyes, do not feast on my looks.
I mean, there's probably like a section where everyone's singing along. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, there's little wonder why they got him back.
Kiss me, you old man.
Marcus, thank you very much for joining us, mate. Today's topic, Ham, is the theatre.
We've already got right into the theatre, Ando. Deep backstage. And we probably can't discuss the theatre without discussing... I mean, we've talked a little bit about high school theatre, but there exists a theatre even more amateur than that, and that is the very first productions you put on as a child. Possibly inspired by Cookie Monster and Monster Piece Theatre. I don't know if you remember that from Sesame Street. But I think that was about the age that my brother and I would watch Sesame Street and go, Monster Piece Theatre, what play can we put on? And we had a family friend, the Worsters, and I remember my brother... Andrew Worster and I would put on plays for mum and dad and the parental versions of the Worsters when they're over for usually like a barbecue.
Did you go around, Ham, and I used to always go around into like mum, dad, grandpa, grandma, and say 50 cents to come and watch. That was tickets, 50 cents.
Bit of that, yeah. We'd like they'd be having lunch, and as kids you eat in like 1 minute, and then you just want to run off and play again. So we'd spend the whole of while they were eating lunch putting together the play and talking about who's going to do what. You come out with ideas and plots and stuff.
Yeah, great.
We didn't. We actually vaguely remember having scripts because Andrew was a bit older and he could write, but I don't sadly have any of the scripts left. But we'd hassle everyone to come out the backyard, like, come on, we've thought of a play. You have to watch the play. Sit down, get the lawn, like get the outdoor furniture, plastic chairs out, sit in the backyard, watch this play. It's going to be really good. So unfortunately, I don't have the script, but
they've probably been submitted to the museum.
They'll be in the archive. They'll be in the archive
of the Arts or something.
Whatever the theatre version of Planet Hollywood is. Planet Theatre would. I have sat down. I've tried to transcribe from memory.
Okay.
Obviously we went off script a little bit during the play, but I've tried to do word for word what really took place in the backyard. To capture the flavour of these wonderful works of art, which are very good, I think, for kids of about 6 years of age.
Okay,
so a little bit of hush.
Thank you. Just handing.
Got the script?
Yes.
You need a script.
Jacko, am I Andrew Worster?
Okay.
Do you know what, Ando? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The very first instance of Hamish and Andy, now I think of it, unless you count Andreas, who was my buddy in kindergarten, which is a German spelling of Andrew.
All right, I'll be Andrew Worster. We've got the backyard setting. Jack, you can be Locke, Hamish's brother, of course.
You just my brother.
Good luck.
All right, here we go. The play, as remembered by me, very good play. Pay attention. Lot of plot lines intertwined. Hey guys, watch out!
Oh no, a cowboy's going to kill us.
That's okay. Take these leaves to protect you.
Why leaves?
Because they're the most readily available props in the backyard, and I've decided they have magical properties.
Let's get really into throwing these leaves around.
We're all throwing the leaves.
Even the cowboy who was meant to kill us is throwing the leaves.
I'm doing a lot of spinning. It's not in the script. I just got bored of the play.
Your spinning reminds me that I recently became passionate about doing a cartwheel, even though I can't quite nail them. I'm going to do 5 now. None of them will be what you would regard as a cartwheel, even generously.
Even though I'm not the cowboy, I just remembered there was a cowboy central to the plot who had a gun. I've decided to shoot everyone.
I'm so dizzy.
No one's paying attention to me trying to shoot them.
I'm a tiger.
We're all tigers.
I just remember we had tennis rackets we were meant to use in the play.
Let's all go to sleep.
The end.
Very good.
Powerful stuff. Thank you. Thanks. That's more applause than we got in the backyard, I remember. And
it was I
think with time, it's actually become a more powerful play. You get the parallels, obviously, between China becoming a superpower and the nuclear threat remains present. Theatre Ando and theatre, the finest of all the arts, home to so many of history's heroes, Shakespeare's, etc. So you've got all the big guys in there. A lot of them were involved in the theatre, or if not, they went to it and they loved it. So very central to humanity and a worthy topic.
And that's why so many people in fact, have emailed in, hamishdanny.com/topics, Ham. It's the only way you can get into the Business Brunch show, going through the website. Topics are up there now. But, Ham, we should get to Fast Biz, getting through a lot of emails.
Fast Biz, top three Fast Biz, Fast Business.
Number 3.
Ham, this is interesting. It's about the movie theatres. Does that even count?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course it does, Andrew. The Academy of Theatrical Motion Pictures.
Company man.
The name of the academies.
Company man William writes in. He said, why don't they bring back intermissions or introduce them for everybody in movies? A toilet break would be great. Movies are getting longer these days. He goes, buy more snacks equals more profit, he says, so it would work for the movie
Helps
theatres.
the industry. Could combat the financial losses through piracy.
Jack was saying that you had this?
Well, no, when we were in I was in the Netherlands with my family a few years ago, and they had an intermission during Shrek.
There's a natural point in Shrek, though, when they're about to go off and find the dragon. That's generally where I think people need to take a bit of a breather. How's this for an idea?
I think it's mainly because kids piss their pants.
We're just sick of cleaning the chairs. What about this? There's a button that you all press if you need to go to the toilet, and if it reaches more than 40% in the theatre, the movie pauses.
Yeah, I think
and it just goes, we've reached critical urinary mass. We're going to pause here for 5, because almost half of you need to go to the loo, and then we'll start again. Not a bad idea.
I love how it's almost half.
I don't want... Yeah, because I was thinking about it, and I thought half would be hard to get to, and I'm now imagining me really wanting to do a wee. 40 seems fair.
Number 2.
From the home of theatre, the United Kingdom. This is from Jim Coulson. He wrote and starred in a play at the Edinburgh Festival in the United Kingdom. It was called The Internationally Recognised Language of Elvis, and it was described in the Scotsman newspaper, which is the Scottish newspaper which reviews all the shows. It's sort of it's the Bible of the Edinburgh Festival. Described in the Scotsman as a pointless shambles. It got 2 stars out of 5, though. And he writes in, I'd hate to see the reviews that got 1 star. You almost feel like it's like those stories you hear of exams where you just turn up and put your name on it, and you get 20% for putting your name on it. The pointless shambles. I don't know if he ever... I wrote back to him, but I didn't get a response. He might be working on the next play, but I'd love to know what the internationally recognised language of Elvis was about. I'd like to think it was just a bunch of foreigners just grunting and ah-ing at people and thrusting their pelvis at them for 45 minutes.
Number 1.
I have number 1 from company man Mitch McNuggets. He had a dream last night, and both of us were in it, Ham. I can't remember exactly, but we were giving a seminar at a local movie theatre. He said the theatre was packed, which is good for us. Anyway, after the seminar, everyone looked left except for about 20 people. During this time, Hamish walked directly past me. I then asked if I could have a picture with him. He proceeded to say, "Is it bright?" That made no sense. But anyway, he reluctantly took a photo with me, and then my mum also asked for a photo. Hamish was outraged and proceeded to punch my mum in the face and ran off holding Andy's hand.
Whoa. Oh, that bit I would believe.
Pretty weird dream.
Mostly to try and get the DNA on your hands as well, so I could blame you later for attacking the mum.
No one knows which one's which of us. But pretty weird dream. I woke up the next day really angry at Hame. Mitch joins us now. Mitch.
How you going, boys?
How dare you, Mitch?
Are you over being
Get out of my face, Mitch.
Are you over being angry with Hame, or is there some kind of way that Hamish can make it up to you?
Oh, look, an apology would be nice, really.
Hame, will you come
Well,
with that?
first of all, Mitch, I would deeply, deeply apologise for what my dream self got up to. Can I just tell you, that is not my experience with Dream Hamish. I've always found him to be a wonderful guy who, befuddlingly, happens to get himself in circumstances with far too many attractive women. I can't figure out how he keeps ending up in these tropical islands or foam-filled bouncy castles, but he does. And he certainly I've never seen him act violently to man or lady.
Yeah.
So on his behalf, I do apologise from the bottom of my real heart and also Dream Hamish's heart.
Mitch, you take that on board?
Well, the Dream Hamish I've encountered is quite a brute, really.
Well, Mitch, we're going to have to leave it there. You can stay angry at Dream Hamish.
No, I'm actually going to find a way to, when the next time you're flying first class, Mitch, I'm going to inception you.
Don't get angry
and
punch him, Ham.
And I'm going to get in your dreams and I'm going to do some really nice stuff to you.
That'll be good.
Thanks for joining us, Mitch.
It's a promise. I promise to incept you. I mean, we've looked at it all. We've looked at Backyard Productions. Yeah. We heard a guy sing a bit from Beauty and the Beast. And we've done it all. I just feel like we've done it all.
We haven't quite done it all, Ham, which brings us to the last module. Yes. Company lady, Shani, emailed in, and she writes, in year 2, it was primary school, 1982, our school did Space Cinderella, which I thought was interesting. Okay. I'm not sure how it differs from but that's pretty much the extent of what she writes. We had to get her up.
Was it like if you're not off the moon by midnight, the eagle lander turns into a pumpkin? Was that the curse?
We're about to find out. Shani joins us on the line. Company lady Shani, thank you very much for doing business with us.
Yeah, no worries.
Talk us through Space Cinderella. From your email, all I could tell is that the choir kids wore silver, shiny dresses made out of wine casks.
Yeah, it sounds a bit strange when you say it out loud, actually. We just thought it was just normal, but yeah, so we had to collect wine casks. Sounds a bit strange when you read it off paper.
Yeah.
We had to ask our parents to collect wine casks so we could staple them together and put them on as, outfits.
Why wasn't tin foil an opportunity there?
I don't know. It must have been some ingenious idea by a teacher.
Is it because you knew that the Apollo program did in fact use discarded wine casks and the astronauts were allowed to sip freely from them on the way home, but not on the way up?
There. Yes.
It's weird when you think about it.
Hey, Shani, what made it Space Cinderella?
I can only remember the wine casks. That's all I remember.
Is it possible you guys just sort of got a bit drunk off fumes and you remember it as Space Cinderella, but in fact it was just maybe normal Cinderella?
Yeah, it could have been.
Did Cinderella lose a moon boot and the prince finds it, or did she still lose a high heel?
Yeah, I'm hoping it was something a bit different, a bit more interesting. But
sounds like you've taken it. You've suppressed this one, Shani. Sounds like
I think so.
Well, Shani, thank you very much for joining us. We were hoping to get far more of an insight.
Yeah, got nothing.
I'm glad we didn't. I prefer keeping it imaginary.
Well, thanks, Shani, for joining us.
Okay, no worries.
Cheers. So we've got time for this Business Brunch, Ham. I think that your kind of take on it, Ham, it seemed accurate to me. That's the natural direction you'd take Space Cinderella.
Well, it would be like the Ugly Sisters are actually the Russians, and they're trying to get to the ball first.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of the space race they wanted to satire in Cinderella, or even if that's the best choice as a vehicle to satire. Yeah. But, sometimes music teachers, drama teachers, they get bored, or they're very confident with their class, and they think that they can handle another level of dramatic complexity. But I've got to say, I've never read Cinderella and gone, this is crying out to be futurized and make this a space-based story. I feel like you had a lot more problems than you solved.
That's all we've got time for this Business Brunch. Thank you very much for everyone joining us. HamishAndy.com. The podcast is there also. HamishAndy.com/topics. More topics up. We'll tackle more tomorrow. In fact, I think it's the moon landing, Ham. The perfect segue from topics to topics.
That almost looks deliberate. In fact, let's pretend it was. That's how you do business. Pleasure doing business with you.
Adjourned.
That was the Hamish and Andy Show podcast, powered by Amy. Lucky you're with Amy.